to be the person who can kick off Christmas morning with a classic Hawaiian vibe? Here's the easiest way to play Mele Kalikimaka, even if you're not confident with playing full songs yet. I teach this exact version to a lot of my students over 50 because it sounds great, it's recognizable instantly, and it's way simpler than people think. We'll start with a simple strumming rhythm you can use for the entire song, then the easy chords you need to play it all the way through, and then at the end, I'll show you the intro riff as a bonus flourish to make the whole thing sound extra polished. So for this song, we're not going to use any capo, and we're going to be in standard tuning. What we're going to use is some palm muting. So for this rhythm, I want you to kind of think about playing the bass or root note of each chord, and then strumming the treble notes or the higher pitch notes. So for example, if we're doing a D major chord, you'd pick the open D string, and then pick the G, B, and high E strings together. So kind of like this. So you're just kind of pivoting back and forth from the bass notes to the treble notes. That's the kind of idea you want to have for the rhythm in this song. And we're also going to add some palm muting into that. So take the meaty side edge of my palm, inside of my fingers, and we're going to muffle that a little bit to give it a bit more of a percussive sound to it. More of a tropical kind of ukulele Hawaiian sound. And that's our rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now that you got the basic rhythm for this, you can focus on playing that with different chords, and I'm going to walk you through the different chords in this song. So we've got a D major chord, A7, D7, G major, B7. You can play it as a bar chord like that, or if you like to play the open version instead, you can play it like this. There's an E7 chord, E minor, and then in one very specific part of the song, we're going to use what's called a D flat over D chord. So it's not going to sound very good right now, but later you'll see and hear how this chord fits into the song. So to start this song, you can use the intro riff, which I'll show you later in this lesson, or if you like, you can just start on the D major chord and just play 1 or 2 measures like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So play those 2 measures, then we carry on with the D major chord. Mele Kalikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. A7. That's the island greeting that we send to you. The land where palm trees sway. Back to D. So a lot of this we're moving back and forth from D to A7. Then we kind of get into this pre-chorus section where we go, here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun just shine by day and all the stars at night. So in that section, we kind of pick up the pace. We start changing chords faster and adding more variety into it. So what you'll do in this section is a D major, E7, G, B7, E7, A7. So that first measure there, we play 2 different chords in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we kind of move to the next section. So the way this goes is Mele Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. So we go D major for 1 measure, 2 and 3 and 4 and A7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor, 2 and then A7, 3 and 4 and back to D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So one more time. Mele Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this lesson so far, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our future lessons, and let's carry on. Then we'll go to the second verse. Mele Kalikimaka is the thing to say. D major chord all day. A7. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land get into the pre-chorus section again, where the chords change a little quicker. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright, sun that shine by day and all the stars at night. So it's D major, 1 and 2 and D7, 3 and 4 and G major, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and B7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E7, 1 and 2 and A7, 3 and 4 and. Now we're back into kind of the chorus, main section. Mele Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas. And then as we get to the end, we can repeat that a couple more times. A very Merry Christmas, very, very, very Merry Christmas to you. And then here comes that special D flat over D major chord to end the song. So again, that chord sounds kind of funny on its own, but adds a nice little touch at the end. So that final section, D major, 2 and 3 and 4 and A7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor, 1 and 2 and A7, 3 and 4 and E minor, 1 and 2 and A7, 3 and 4 and E minor, 1 and 2 and A7, 3 and 4 and then we play D major. Mess around, play whatever strumming pattern you like there. So one more time in that last section. Mele Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas, very, very, very Merry Christmas to you. All right, so that's the chords and rhythm, so you can sing along to the song. If you want to add some extra flair to this, you can add in this intro riff, which I've adapted for the acoustic guitar with some slides. So you can start on the 2nd fret of the G string with your first finger, and play the 5th fret of the high E string with your pinky. Pick that one more time, slide up to the 7th fret, and then play the 5th fret with your 2nd finger, 4th fret with your 1st finger, and then pick that 4th fret again, slide up. And then we're going to shuffle down, play the 3rd fret of the B string with your 1st finger, and then play the 5th fret of the high E string with your ring finger. Play the 4th fret of the B string with your middle finger. And then let's just try that whole section over now. Now when you play this 3rd fret and 4th fret on the B string here, you want to try and add some vibrato. So kind of shake the string up and down. Let's play that section one more time. So now for the second section, you're going to start on the 2nd fret of the high E string with your 1st finger. So pick that once, and then pick it one more time. Slide up to the 3rd fret. Pick that 2 more times. And then I recommend shuffling up here to the 5th fret. We're going to pick that, slide down to the 3rd fret. Play the 5th fret of the B string with your ring finger. And pick that one more time. Slide up to the 7th fret. And then play the 3rd fret of the B string. So that whole second section, kind of at a slower speed, is. And again, on that last note, you can add some vibrato to make it a little more interesting. So here's the whole thing, kind of at a slower speed. And then you can play one measure of the D major chord, and then start singing. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is a great Christmas song to kind of mix things up, and if you can add that intro riff in there as well, that'll really impress your friends and family at the next party or gathering. If you want some extra help with your guitar playing, make sure you check the link below and you can get our Fretboard Pathways training, which shows you how to play confidently across the whole fretboard and be able to play confidently for friends, family, and play any song that you want. Make sure to check that out, and then I'll see you in the next lesson.